No, that's not what I want to say. Ladies and gentlemen, bitches and hoes, I would like to welcome you to episode 16 of the Prime Podcast. I am your host. That is your other host, Fat. Say what the fuck is up?
What's good, everybody?
How did you... What the fuck are you... This fucking guy with his surprise sound effects. I bet you we compromised the whole sound of this podcast so you could play 5 seconds of clapping. Look. Yay.
What's up, man?
Oh man. What's not up? What's, the world is melting around us. We were supposed to record this podcast yesterday, but Fats doesn't know my pants rule, so we didn't do that.
Oh man.
It's because yesterday we had to go do a drive-by honking for my niece and nephew's birthday, and we wound up going inside. So it was sort of the first time I was like around people in months.
Right.
And then I rushed home and got the attitude from my wife because I told her I had a podcast to do. And she's like, you and your stupid podcast. Fucking podcasting.
But what did she want you to do?
We were at Amanda's house. It was my niece and nephew are like a week apart in birthday. Well, a few days actually.
Right.
So they had the drive-by thing, and then Mike got on the barbecue and he started cooking some stuff up, and then we were just, sitting there, and that's her best friend. So,
And Mike is nice on the grill. Let me just say that. Shout out to him because he gets busy.
Mike's fucking stupid. Mike cooks like a bunch of delicious food. They just got this dog, and the dog is going crazy, and he's like giving the dog a hot dog. I'm like, Mike, don't give the dog a fucking hot dog. Literally on cue, 30 seconds later, the dog pukes everywhere. You can't give dogs hot dogs. They just can't eat them because it's like cannibalism. Hot dog, you know what I mean? That's not even an attempt at a bad joke. They can't eat hot dogs.
That was like a dad joke just now.
I know, but you can't give a dog a hot dog. Every experience I've given my dog a hot dog, it fucking throws it up.
We cannot go any further into this conversation until you acknowledge the fact that you really reached on that one.
I wasn't even trying to make a joke, but it was like...
Oh, okay.
It was like if somebody was like, hey, you want a hot people? And you were like, nah, I'm good, homie. I don't want a hot people.
Okay.
You want a hot person? Jeez.
So, yeah.
I'm dying up here.
So let me help you out.
Bro, you love sound effects. You really do. You're like the sound effect man.
So the world is in a very, it's in a strange place right now.
Oh yeah. Well, I'd say we've been here before. But,
yeah, the world is in a very strange place right now. I mean, considering all of the current events going on, and especially things like that center around a lot of racism and everything else like that. The world is just like going crazy right now.
Yeah.
Our commander-in-chief, who has been a very avid user of Twitter, is like going to war with Twitter right now over them fact-checking 2 of his tweets.
Yeah, they fact-check our podcast all the time. I didn't know if you knew that. I felt like that'd be a good place to tell you that.
How's that?
They add a little, like the same shit they did to him. They add a little disclaimer. Like if you mention COVID-19, they'll add a little button. Like somebody just tagged us in Big Mar. Shout out Big Mar. He's like a big fan of the podcast.
Yeah, shout out Big Mar. He tagged us.
And on the bottom of it was a disclaimer from YouTube telling him if he wants to know the real information about COVID-19, because I suppose in that episode we had Jay on.
Right.
and we were talking about COVID heavy that time. So
Right.
it was like for more information or for accurate information, whatever, however the fuck they worded. But yeah, they put that thing up there. They just go off keywords. You
Yeah, but
understand what I'm saying?
yeah, but the thing about it is, do you really like? I think that that's a good thing, to be
It's
honest.
great. I could fucking care less, really. I don't care what they do.
And
They could be like,
the
they could
reason
straight up
why
right
I
under
think
the fucking thing. Go ahead. You go tell your story.
no, the
Go ahead.
reason why I think that that's good is because during this whole situation, has been nothing but a bunch of misinformation. So
Word.
yes,
Well, who said that their information is correct too? That's the only thing. And I'm not. This is not to defend Trump. I'm just saying, in our case, like we weren't saying this is what you do and blah blah blah. We had Jay on who had the shit. You know what I'm
right,
saying? So
right.
he's talking about his experience. It's not like obviously it's an opinion of his because he had an opinion to have. Now I don't know.
Yeah, but what
He,
I'm saying is at least offer. They're offering alternative information
I don't
instead.
like their information.
Well, I mean, you have the that's your prerogative. But what I'm saying is, for this guy to be a person that has used Twitter in such an avid way, like to just spew all kind of nonsense, to now be upset with them because they offered alternative information to what he was giving out. I think that that's like kind of like like hypocritical, don't you think?
Well, he's an asshole for that. So
Yeah.
he's just he's got he said some other shit today about the whole thing that's happened in Minneapolis. Like, what did he say? Something
Well,
if this
hold on. Before we get to that, first, let's just acknowledge the whole Minneapolis thing, and we acknowledge that they had their own, basically their own Eric Garner situation, where
eh,
where there was on tape that a guy was pleading that he was in discomfort, he couldn't breathe, and the cops continued to, well, the cop, Derek Chauvin,
fuck all those cops. They should all go to jail.
yeah, I agree, but I'm just like going through this series of events and seeing how a lot of people are seeing, like, right now, this guy, he just got, first of all, all of the cops that were there were fired.
Good.
They were fired immediately. Now this guy, the one that actually was on camera with his knee on his neck, I think it was for like 18 minutes, 12 to 18 minutes, something like that. He had his knee on this guy's neck. He has now been arrested and charged with manslaughter, murder and manslaughter. I think it's third degree murder and manslaughter. Uh, the thing about that whole situation is, I think that the swift action is not due to just the protesting and the looting, but it's the fact that they know that they got the Eric Garner case wrong. Do you understand what I'm
I
trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but also this is like, yeah, this is egregious. I'm not saying that the Eric Garner shit wasn't, but like they saw the reaction immediately. Like people were not standing for this shit. They fucking burnt the police station down.
Yeah,
You
because
know what
the
I'm
thing
saying?
about it is, we when you've been down a road before and you say this has happened before, and we already know how this is going to end. This is going to end with a bunch of cover-ups. This is going to end with a bunch of people saying uh the cops were, they were in the right, and people were just not having it this time because they knew where the road led. And this is the thing of what, not to be all like conspiracy theorists and everything else, but this is how revolution begins. Revolution begins when the people say, you know what, I'm not taking this anymore. We took it already. I'm not taking it anymore. So anyway, these people, they began to loot and wild out, burn down the police station. They're in an uproar because uh it's just the pain of the situation, because we're all dealing with this whole COVID thing. And
I mean,
to be dealing with that and then dealing with the rampant racism on top of it, it's like it's too much to bear, you
all right,
know?
hold on. Let's break this shit down because I don't know. Um, What happened? Like, what makes this, besides the fact that he's white and the guy is black? What makes this racist? What happened? Like, what did he
All
do?
right, here's the thing. This guy had the authorities called on him because he was allegedly trying to pass a bad check. There was
Allegedly.
yes, allegedly. Here's my
What does that
point.
mean? I don't get. I understand. How do you alleged? Like, did he pass a bad check?
I wasn't there. I don't know. But what I'm saying is it's not about whether he
It
did
don't
it or
matter what he
is it
did. Nah, did
no, no,
nothing
but
is.
listen. What I'm saying is what the crime was. There was no uh imminent danger, deadly force, weapon involved, anything. From what I saw in the video, I saw a guy on his stomach that was handcuffed already. Why do you have to continue to have your knee on this guy's neck? What danger does he pose when he's laying on his? He's already, the threat is over. He's cuffed
Nah,
already.
I'm agreeing with you, but if you look into this situation, that cop had a fucking list of shit behind him. He's just a piece of shit. That's what it was.
Right.
He's just
I'm not indicting a whole race of people. I'm telling you that there are people that even in the midst of all of this craziness that we're dealing with as a whole, as every group of people is dealing with this, there are people that still hold on to hate so hard that this guy had to lose his life because this cop who's sworn to protect and serve is out there with a vendetta against people of color.
he's a piece of shit, man. I don't. I mean, there's no words that you could say here that are if anybody, I honestly I have a pretty diverse friend group on the Facebook there, and I haven't read one person. You know, sometimes you see people like, yeah, blue lives matter. I haven't read one motherfucker that didn't say this dude was a piece of shit. Because when you watch that video,
Right,
that's a human being. You're kneeling on his fucking neck.
right,
What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? And when you do that for that long, you don't care. You
right,
don't care what's gonna happen. You have no regard.
right.
You should go. They should fucking put that dude in prison. He'll die within the first fucking week in Gen Pop.
But see, here's the other part about it is because you know they've had protests in New York City as well,
Yeah,
and
I heard about that.
of course you know because people in New York are still salty about that whole Eric Garner thing, and this is like a again again. You know what I mean? That's number one. Number two, the whole thing about the guy that the black guy that was the bird watcher in Central
Hmm?
Park. Did you hear about that?
No, what? Oh, is that with the white girl walking the dog?
Yeah. So a dog. Now you a person with a dog, right?
Yeah, I
You
have a dog
see,
named Honey.
yes. What I'm saying is the guy had he's watching birds. So in this part of the park, the Ramble, I believe it's called. In this part of the park, there's a lot of exotic birds or whatever, and people go there to watch these birds. They they implore you to leash your dog and to hold on to your dog because dogs running like roaming free can
It's just scared of birds.
they
Yeah,
scare these birds. So the guy is well within his right to say, "Ma'am, can you please leash your dog?" Because he's trying to interrupt what I'm here trying to do. So
yeah.
she took it upon herself to say, "Well, I'm going to call 911 and say that there's an African American man threatening me and my dog." So I guess when she's on the phone with the 911 dispatcher, they're not giving her the response that she feels that she should have. So you can see in the video that she kind of like plays it up even more and more and more, like as if she's in imminent danger. And the guy's telling her, like, listen, just leash your dog. Like
Yeah, I seen this video,
it's
and
not
it's you watch that shit, and that lady is fucking crazy,
exactly.
racist, racist, and fucking crazy, both equal parts.
Yeah.
So, Like, yeah, she's a fucking nut job. She's a cunt, asshole, racist bitch.
Right.
And
But
that should be a crime in itself too, to make
but
a false report. Like,
see, here's the kicker. She's a Wall Street executive. How many people of color actually work for this lady or come in contact with this lady? And this is the thing that is the saddening part. The saddening part about it is that you can't even get a fair shake because you have these people that have these closet feelings that are walking around in these like high places, and they can affect your outcome. You know,
I
you
mean,
get what I'm
when you
trying to
look at
say?
it, yeah, when you look at it like that, it's like that's like a loaded fucking gun, bitch. You calling the cops saying this shit about a black dude or this and that, and then you already know how they react to black dudes. So it's like, do you want this dude to get fucked up over this and get shot like on sight when these fucking cops come there?
And the
Like
thing
that's what
about it
I'm
is,
saying.
he's right. He's not even wrong. He's right.
But no
That's
shit, he didn't do a fucking thing. I heard the fucking. I watched the video. Like he was more or less like laughing at this bitch. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
right, right,
really, bitch.
right,
But like, it's dangerous for this bitch to do that. There should be a crime associated with what she did. Like, it's clear and present danger that she's putting this dude in by doing that, and it seems she's doing it vindictively on purpose. To sort of like ramp up what's gonna happen when the cops come. Oh, a crying white lady. Oh, a black guy. Like she knew what she was doing. Like
right.
it's
But see,
fucked
this
up.
this is the thing. Because there's no punishment to it, that's why it will continue to go on because there is no punishment to it.
I heard she got fired from a job or some shit. Like
Right,
they
but
had to let
I'm talking about like legal ramifications because if there were legal ramifications for people doing that, you would not see that being
there
done. You know
there
what I mean?
are. If the cops would have came there and shot the dude and the dude would have got hurt at all, that bitch would have been held responsible for filing a false claim. But actually filing the claim is like like nothing. You know, the dude didn't get hurt by the cops. He didn't get fucked up.
Right,
So but if she had called in this false claim and the cops came there and actually fucking hurt this dude, she would be responsible. She committed a crime. And you're right though. There should be some sort of reprimand or punishment for what she did. But she's gonna pay for it in her personal life, fucking dearly, dude. She lost a job. Nobody's fucking with her. I don't know what kind of people she's around, but who the fuck, like, who plays shit like this?
I
Like,
mean, it's
like,
just it's the same thing with this whole the whole Breonna Taylor thing.
I
Did
don't
you
know what that is. I may
and
have seen it, but I don't know the name.
in Louisville, Kentucky, right? You had a emergency the EMT. She was working for two different hospitals in Kentucky with the whole COVID thing. So she was a frontline worker. She was in bed with her boyfriend. She's 26, he's 27. They're in the bed sleep. This guy, the boyfriend, had he had a license for his
Oh, the
pistol,
warrant.
and it was a no knock warrant for for drugs, uh, and they busted into the house, no warning, no identification. So what's the first thing he did? What's the first thing you would have done? He went for his gun and he started, defending his property. They shot 22 times, hitting her 8 times, killing her. And then they took the boyfriend into custody for attempted murder on a police officer.
Yeah,
That's asinine to me.
it's definitely. I don't know what part. Where were they?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Like I said, this we spoke about this on the last podcast or the
Yeah,
podcast before when we
when we were talking about Ahmaud Arbery. Yeah,
did I ever tell you what happened to me in October?
no,
But we went to Montauk for my anniversary with my wife.
right,
And the night we went there for like a weekend. We came back, and the people that lived upstairs from me at the time, this dude was getting in all kind of shit with his wife, and she called the cops on him.
right,
So the cops came to my house. He lived upstairs. The cops came to my house at my front door in formation, like fucking 6, 7 deep. And I got surveillance footage of this if you want to see it. They came, pounded on my fucking door. I
right.
look out there and I'm like, there's fucking 6 cops out. Like, she what the fuck?
Right.
So I open the fucking door and I go outside. They pull me out the door. They're like, "Where's your wife? Get your wife." Like there's a domestic dispute and blah blah. They didn't care, what happened. They just want to fucking they all they know is they got called by a domestic dispute by a woman.
Right.
So they're not. I don't know. They just don't. They just act on like it never would cross their mind.
Right.
Same with this thing. Like they're going to serve a no knock warrant. It never would cross their mind that perhaps they had something wrong, and that maybe they should fucking sort of like. You ramp it down a little bit, knock on the fucking door, make contact. The guys, you're knocking on somebody's door in the middle of the night. Like, if I would have came out with my gun, I would be dead right now, dude.
Right.
They took me out of the house. They told me they were going to shoot my dog because Honey was going fucking crazy.
Right.
And they didn't believe what I was telling them. And I heard the dude upstairs screaming at his girl. So I knew that they weren't there for me because we were all fast asleep. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, 1:30. So,
But
but like,
here's the thing, though. You know what is like amazing to me is the fact that they were just like in Louisville. They were at the wrong in Louisville. They were at the wrong apartment. That was the wrong apartment. This woman was in bed, ready to go to work the next day, and they busted into the wrong apartment, and she ended up losing her life at 26 years old. They came to your house not knowing that they were at the wrong part of the house, and that could have went all bad. You understand what I'm trying to say?
100%. That's why I brought it up. And it's like, you don't. You know what kind of convincing it took me to, like, I had to go inside with them, open the door, standing in my door. I
Mm-hmm.
had to go get Danielle with the baby. She had to wake up the fucking baby and come outside and be like, I did not call you. And
Right,
I'm like in that little fucking doorway area, I'm like, just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and listen.
right,
And you could hear these people upstairs going at it.
right.
And then he won't open the fucking door.
Mm-hmm.
So they go around back and they come back to me. Now they want my help. They're like, well, so can you call him? And like, yo, get the fuck off my steps, yo. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, you fucking kidding me?
But see, can this is the thing, and I know a lot of guys in law enforcement. You know guys in law enforcement. This is the thing about it. This is how the people can end up like firebombing a police station because it's not about the ones that are bad. It's about the ones that are good that don't police the ones that are bad.
Yeah, I was choking on water, but that was all bad, bro.
Yeah, but
That
that's my
was,
point. It's like there's always, oh well, every cop is not bad. Okay, I can agree with that. I'm not telling you every cop is a scumbag. I'm not telling you that every white person is a scumbag. I'm not telling you that every black person is an angel. What I'm telling you is for the ones that are bad, that are out there doing bad, and the ones that are doing good, that are not checking the ones doing bad, that is where I have the problem.
yeah, that was definitely a prime situation of what you're describing. Like there was too many other cops around that nobody had nothing to say. Like
Yeah.
nobody could have been like, yo,
Nobody,
homie.
yeah, like you're going a little bit too far here. Get off the guy's neck. He's already cuffed up. Get up off of him. That's where the crime is. That's why I'm saying, even though they charged him, there's there's responsibility to all of the people that were involved. Everyone that was involved have this guy's
100%.
have this guy's blood on their hands. Every single one of them.
100% and I hope some high power fucking lawyer gets involved and makes that a fucking point, bro. Those dudes do not deserve to be walking around like you like, because if the shoe is on the other foot, right?
Right.
And let's say that dude was with 3 of his homies and shot a cop, all 3 of his mans would be in fucking jail with him.
Right.
So
Right.
it is what it is. You gotta you gotta call it how it is.
Right.
You didn't do shit to stop him, and that's what they would say to his homies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you was with him in the car, you could have stopped him. You could whatever.
Yeah, you
How many
coulda-
people have gone down on charges like that?
Exactly.
It's fucking bullshit, bro. Straight up bullshit.
Listen, if I lend you my car and you go and take my car and go kill somebody, they want to lock me up because I lent you the car to go and do something. I obviously had to know that you were going to go do something. So I didn't stop you. They would try to bring me up on charges for that. So at the end of the day, this is where I have the problem. This is where the breakdown is. And now we get to the whole looting thing, right?
Yeah, that shit is fucking retarded. If you ask me, I think it's fucking stupid. Like, what do you? I rather you light the police station on fire. That's to me, it's like, all right, I see your point, but going to Target and stealing a 60-inch TV, it's like, what do you're now changing the focus from what this is about. Like
Well,
you're giving them something to talk about.
well, here's an interesting perspective on that. This is my perspective on it. All right. Uh, you ever see like bus operators when they bus operators get attacked? They get spit on. People try to punch them and everything else like that. And I always say to people, it's not the person, the bus driver personally is not who people have the problem with. They have a problem with the establishment being the MTA. You understand what I'm saying? The MTA represents the
Yeah.
establishment. So people attack whoever's standing representing the establishment. Target is representative of the establishment to these people. So they lashing out and taking things from Target is
Wait. Hold on.
I'm what
Hold on a second. Was he there? Was he at the Target with the check or something?
no, I don't know about that. What I'm telling you is I'm telling you Target, it's not people trying to lash out at Target. People are lashing out at the establishment. Like I'm impoverished with no voice, so I'm just gonna take. I'm not going to go by the rules. The rules are that I'm not supposed to do this. So I'm going to break the rules. I'm going to be emboldened and empowered
Yeah,
and break the rules. That's the
that's
psyche.
fucking retarded. It's
Okay. But
retarded.
we can sit back. We can sit back from far away and say that. But the people that are right there in it, when they just want to strike at and have a loud voice, you take action.
Did you? Let me ask you a question. You watch any of these looting videos?
No, I have not.
All right, get on the internet and watch them. It's a bunch of fucking people that are like, and when I say people, it's white, black, Hispanic, it's everybody,
Right.
and they seem like a bunch of idiots giggling and laughing, busting windows out. Yo, grab that TV, grab it. They broke into a fucking a gym and stole the free weights. It was just straight up mayhem. That's what it was. They were like,
Right.
oh, they have their hands full now with the police station on fire, and they're going to war in front of. Like I said, that I get. I understand your plight. When you're out, you have beef with the police. I understand you, and that's some part of me is like fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, get out there and fucking burn that bitch down. But
Right.
going in Target and like, I just it makes it dirties up your point when you go and you commit crime. I know that it's a crime to burn down a police station and throw rocks at police and shit like that, but I get it. But I don't know. It makes them just seem like fucking just like they completely take the focus off of dude. You know what I'm saying? Like this is about him. It's not about getting a fucking free TV. It's about the injustice that happened to this dude, and then you're just gonna fix it with a bunch of free shit.
Well,
And
I mean, the thing about it is that uh it's psychologically it's just you trying to do something that is totally against the status quo. It's like going if you feel failed by civilization and society, then you try to strike out against civilization and society. Now here's the flip side of that coin. As a person from the other side that's not in it is saying, when you end up destroying your part of town, when you end up destroying stores, when you end up destroying infrastructure, what you actually now do is you lay out the red carpet for gentrification to come in and take your neighborhood away from you. Because now you've driven down the price of everything to dirt cheap, and there's fire sales going on. And now developers come in and they say, okay, we're going to take this, we're going to pump a bunch of money, we're going to price everybody in this neighborhood out, and we're going to turn it into something else.
this happened in Minneapolis, bro.
Right.
This is just like downtown Minneapolis is not. It's like any other fucking. metropolis city. It's not like there's affordable housing everywhere. Like
Yeah, but
they're
what I'm
gonna.
trying to say is, when whatever damage has been done in downtown Minneapolis, whatever damage has been done, when the rebuild comes in, right? Who do you think is going to benefit from the rebuild? Do you think the people that took these things are going to benefit, or you think the
No.
establishment is going to
I
benefit
think
from
the people with the money are gonna, the rich
it?
people
Exactly,
that have been already running shit forever, are gonna be.
exactly,
But the other thing is also, I read that a lot of small businesses um got fucked up over it, and
right,
that's another thing. It's like Target will be fine always. Now,
right,
Planet Fitness will be fine.
right.
But fucking like if me or you like had a comic book store or a fucking
Yeah,
whatever, a bakery, and somebody
right.
fucked our shit up, that's gonna set you back severely. On
Severely.
top of what the fuck is already happening in the world with the COVID shit,
Yeah, but
then you got this
the
shit. It's like
no, but the insurance companies are going to take the hit for that.
they're gonna take a hit, but bro, you if your day to day is
Yeah, but think about this. Think about this also. Even if you are some kind of mom and pop shop that was teetering on the edge of losing your business because of this whole pandemic, now those looters pretty much did you a favor because the insurance is going to cover whatever damage, and you're going to be able to outlast what's going on right now until the actual economy is opened up again.
I guess that's one way of looking
Think
at it.
about
I
that.
didn't.
I mean,
I
just
mean, yeah,
the long sighted part of it is yes, we can reel against the whole thing, but I'm telling you, the business owners are the ones that are going to benefit from this whole looting thing. Then our commander in chief goes on Twitter and has an inflammatory remark about when the looting begins, that's when the shooting begins. That is a veiled threat. Do
was
you
he
understand?
saying that? Well, the looters are going to shoot, or that the people are going to get shot? I don't understand that
He's
quote.
implying because they would because um the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of Minnesota they're talking about having the National Guard come in. So that's when that comment came through with the National Guard stepping in. When the looting starts, that's when the shooting starts. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah, no, I get it. It's also a famous quote, and he's a dumb fuck, and he quoted it. It's like I don't know, look it up if you want to fact check it, but it was a quote by somebody else,
Right.
and
But still, why would you feel that it was prudent at this time when they're talking about bringing in troops to even say something like that?
because he's a fucking dumbass, and he just says stupid shit. What do you
Right.
mean?
But that no, but
He's
what I'm
just,
saying is this is the times that we live in. This you and I debated this a long time ago. Not a long time, a few episodes ago we debated this. And this is what I'm exactly saying to you. There's a difference between a boss and a leader. A leader would have never said anything like that. A
I
leader would have just stepped in, handled the situation. A boss will say something because he's used to threatening people with
yeah,
with
that's what
consequence.
that is.
He's
That's
used to
like,
threatening people with consequence. So since that's been a tool of his for such a long time, right? He doesn't understand that this is not the time for you to threaten people with consequence. This is the time for you to step up and be a leader, you know?
well, I guess it's a good thing that we still have Joe Biden as presidential hopeful. Think about how fucked America is. You got that shit on one hand, and on the other hand, you got Biden talking about, well, you ain't black if you don't vote for Joe Biden,
Yeah.
what are the fucking choices here? You want is Ja Rule gonna run for president or some shit?
Well,
Because like,
see, it,
what the
it
fuck?
it's like, all right, it's the question is somebody who's certifiably an idiot and proves it to you every day, or it's an Alzheimer's patient that goes in and out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I hate it, but I would still go. I'd still go with the other idiot, Biden.
With the certifiable idiot, like every sound bite you've heard out of this man's mouth is like it just makes you shake your head in awe. Like I didn't think he could top the last thing.
Are
You
you
know?
talking about Trump, right?
Yes.
Right, right. I'd
Now,
still
now,
go with him.
now, 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 Biden is like he's very hot and cold. You know what I mean? It's
He's a
like
fucking retard. He's fucking
nah, he's
retarded.
just he's I don't know. He's
Think about the sentiment of what he said, though.
right,
Like he's like, all right, he's the same way Trump said this manipulative shit, like, oh, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Like, let me manipulate these people to stay the fuck in the house.
right.
Biden, on the other hand, is like, he's like, how black are you? That's what he's asking the people, like, so because he thinks that all black people are just gonna be like, well, I must be black, so I gotta vote for Biden.
Well,
Like
to
he could
be,
manipulate that out of you.
you know what he was attempting to do. To be honest with you,
Yes,
what
manipulate people.
yeah he was trying to galvanize his voting base via racial lines because everybody is has associated Trump with with the right with the alt right. It's like he's trying to like galvanize his voting base along racial lines,
Yeah,
and
but in the
that's
process, it shows how fucking racist he is, though.
but
Just
that's
all
my
like,
point. The point being is that's how it backfired because it's like if you are trying to endear yourself to the people, you cannot endear yourself to the people by accusing the people of not being who they are just because they don't want to vote for you.
like, remember when it's some about the fucking the Breakfast Club too. You remember when Hillary Clinton went up there talking about hot sauce?
Yeah,
Like, who?
because they feel like when they think about Power 105, they think about this is I'm talking to black people directly. So that's why they feel like they have to go up there and be extra black.
Yeah,
You know,
but that notion in and of itself is the fucking problem. Like,
right,
they it's almost like you don't know that we're all fucking people. You don't have to fucking put on this act and
right.
fucking go up there and like who's advising of them of this? All right, we're gonna hit Power 105 today, and there's a lot of blacks that listen to that channel, so please black it up a little bit, please, like what the fuck is this shit? Like, what
But
is
this,
it?
but but that's what I'm saying. These people have advisors. Their advisors are telling them these things.
They need to fire them. All right, if that's cool. Their advisors are telling them this. But if you can be advised to be that fucking retarded, you should not be running a fucking country.
Well, this is what I'm saying. But Donald Trump has advisors too.
Of course he does.
This is my
He,
point. So it's like at the end of
he'd
the
probably
day,
be better off listening to them because he goes off on his own and says the dumb shit a lot of the time. They probably in the background like, oh, shh, don't hit send. Take his phone. Take it. He's gonna hit send. Ah, fuck. He posted it. He fucking posted it. That's
he
what.
and now see amidst all of this, he's in a pissing contest with China. And
Yeah, I'm not up on that shit. Yeah, I've been so like, honestly, like, dude, I don't know Facebook. I just don't. I don't tune in. I can't ingest this shit. So I'm missing a lot of the other shit that's happening just by not being
yeah,
online looking at this
yeah,
crap.
but
Like,
this pissing contest with China is not going to end well.
no,
We've already established just being the fact being how the supply chains were cut off. The supply chains were cut off because we are in a pissing contest with China. The reason why we couldn't get we still can't get most of the things that we're like looking for so much is because these supplies, just the ingredients and supplies that they need to make things, come from China. So if we're in a pissing contest with someone and they cut off the supply chain, then that just shows us how weak and vulnerable we really are. I
yeah,
was
no
watching.
shit.
I was watching. I think it was Real Sports on HBO because over in Korea, they're playing the Korean baseball league. They're playing. They're back playing again, and they're not. they're not playing with crowds. There's no crowds in the stands, but they're playing baseball, and they have all kind of things in place of like health checks and testing and temperature checks and everything else like that. But they're playing. Their society is returning to not normal, but basically functional. And they're able to do that because Korea got ahead of this whole thing because Korea is a great nation. The US has a facade of being a great nation, but basically what we are just major consumers. You know what I mean? The main thing that we export is like entertainment. We're like entertainment for the world. That's basically that. But as far as like producers of anything, we don't produce anything. That's the reason why you can't find Lysol wipes, Clorox wipes, things like that. You can't find these things because the actual ingredients that we need to make these things come from China.
Yeah.
And our leader, quote unquote, is in a pissing contest with them. He's now his new thing is he's withdrawn his financial support to the World Health Organization, because he's saying basically China controls them, and he's still he's still basically openly challenging them over the fact that the virus started in Wuhan. And basically what happened was, what he was saying was interesting. I was listening to his press conference, and his press conference he was saying China basically closed the borders to every other major province and city outside of Wuhan. So they basically quarantined Wuhan, but they allowed the people in Wuhan to have free travel across the world, which is how he's saying that's how the virus spread to across the borders, because people were flying into Europe, they were flying into Africa, into America, into all of these different places and infecting people there. So that's why the virus was on everybody's doorstep at the same time. But
Yeah.
but the thing about it is what I say is, uh, when you're indebted to someone in the manner that we are, the best thing you could do is try to find a diplomatic solution to what's going on. Because are you trying to be prideful, or are you trying to actually save lives of your constituents, of the citizens of your country?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't this yeah, Trump has had beef with China way before all this shit. And this was like, with the whole tariffs thing and all
Right,
this other shit. So this
right,
was like, this is the bullshit he needed to be like, fuck China. And I know Trump's ultimate goal would be for America, his whole fucking motto, make America great again.
right,
Before everything came here from China,
right,
America did produce shit. And I think that I don't know what his plan is to have that kind of fucking infrastructure and these factories and everything and all of that shit done back here again.
right,
And I think that like if he leans on this enough, he thinks that that's going to happen here or something, but not fast enough. I don't think I don't know. I don't. There's the whole politics thing between China and America is I don't understand it. I don't. There's people talk about it forever, and I just don't. I don't get it.
right,
Because you're right. There's like, what is the remedy to this? So you're just gonna beef with the economy between America and China was, I guess, working to a certain extent because now look what happens when it isn't working.
right,
You have all of this fucking problems where you can't have anything. So I don't know. It's fucked up. I don't know. It ain't. Who knows? What do you think's gonna happen?
Well, I just feel like the funny part about it is that when you couldn't find face masks, when you couldn't find gloves, when you couldn't find hand sanitizer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, run on, run on, run on. Every Chinese establishment that you went into, they had all of these things.
I didn't. I didn't go into Chinese
Well,
establishments,
most
so
of these, most of these safety plazas, the safety places where you get the vests and the work boots and all of that stuff, most of those are Chinese owned. Most, if not all, are Chinese owned. So when you were looking for safety equipment, You go to one of these safety plazas, and they had all of that stuff. They had. I got some of the best rubber gloves ever from this place. I got rubber gloves. I got boxes of masks, masks for my son, little baby masks for my son. I got masks for the rest of my family. I got hand sanitizer up the wazoo. You know what I mean? I even gave you some hand sanitizer.
Oh, that's where you get it. Where's that spot? Across from West Farms?
Yes.
You know, I'm not a big fan of them taking that strip club out of there to put fucking hand sanitizer in. But all
Yeah.
right,
Well, I mean,
okay.
in the time of that we're living in, there's nobody shaking nothing over there. And you want some hand. Have you been using that hand sanitizer?
Yeah, I do. I use it. Give it a little shot when I
Yeah.
walk past it, just to make sure we're on the up and up.
But that's my point. My point being is that I got face shield from over there. The only thing that I didn't get from over there is the mask that you got me, the respirator. But other than that, I got everything from over there.
You've
But
been rocking that thing with
of
the
course,
respirator.
yeah, of course.
When you go to the store, you rock that shit.
Nah, just rock it while I'm working. That's my
Uh,
work mask. That's my work mask. You know?
well, where? In a truck by yourself?
Nah, you know I actually have to get out of the truck and actually do things, right?
All right.
I
I don't know.
and I come personally in contact with the general public because I have to go inside of a transit vehicle, you know?
Yeah, fuck people in general. I'm not trying to come in contact with people.
Well, here's another thing. They're saying that I think Nassau County is already in phase 1 and they're saying that phase 2 is next week. So that means that Danielle and your sister, they're going to be able to go back to work soon.
They're talking about it, yeah, but there's like all kinds of crazy ass restrictions on it too. So who knows what's gonna? I mean, they're gonna do it, whatever it is, I guess. But I don't know. It's not gonna be the same.
So they're talking about phase 2 for Nassau County next week. What they're talking about is next week going into phase 1 for the 5 boroughs, right? So now with them opening up the 5 boroughs again, the big question looming is social distancing in the transit system. That's
Impossible.
that's the biggest to do right there is social distancing inside of a bus, inside of a train car. And
Impossible.
and they've been doing is they've been since the first time in the whole 116-year history of the transit authority, they've been closing the subway, shutting it down overnight between 1 and 5 in the morning, and they've been disinfecting every train car. They're even using this ultraviolet light to disinfect the train cars. So basically, that's what they've been doing.
That's
So
cute.
yeah, so they're trying to keep they're trying to make it safer, but it's just the actual distancing. How do you achieve that? And the transit authority still has not come up with an actual action plan for that.
It's fucking impossible, bro. On a subway, particularly on a bus, I guess you could fucking Nah, actually, no, I take that back. It's the same fucking problem. You can't stop these people from coming on the bus through the back door.
Right?
You can't stop people from getting on a train as many as, like, how would you limit? Because you couldn't account for the homeless people that live on the fucking train that jump over the turnstile. Like, how would you stop any amount of people from coming on and off of trains and buses?
Well,
It's
see, this
impossible.
here's the thing, man. It's like okay, you have that situation going. You have that situation going with the trains and the buses having to transport people. Now, do you hire someone to like be a counter, like a bean counter on the bus, and say, "Well, we're at capacity. You can't, no one
No,
else can
because
board the bus."
you want to see the World Star videos that would come the first day of that? Fuck out of here, big. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? Yeah, okay.
Oh
It's
man,
impossible, bro. I mean, The bus, I suppose, doesn't have to stop and open the doors. The train, well, it's the same with the bus. People got to stop. They got to get off.
Yeah.
I can't see this working. I can't see it working.
Well, I mean, the transit system still has to run. People still have to travel. So how do we regulate this? That's the main question. How do we really regulate this?
I mean, I guess the only way would be to stop the people from entering and exiting the bus and train. So, like, if you could effectively stop a certain amount of people from getting on a train or getting on a bus, that would be the only way to stop it. But
They don't have that many police officers, man. There's
that's what
not
I'm
that many
saying. It's
police
like,
officers to do that.
but this isn't necessarily a police officer job either. Like, just,
Yeah,
there's
but think
real
about it.
problems.
Who's who other than a police officer can get people to actually listen? Because again, if that's just like an MTA personnel saying, "Okay," people are going to disregard that. Period. End of
They're gonna
story.
disregard the cops too. Are you kidding me? In New York City, they're gonna be like, "Get the fuck out of here! Fuck you." Eventually, if your plan is to get on a train, then it's just gonna be what? Just a giant line to ride the train? Like
Yeah,
it's dude. I went to fucking All Americans. You know what it is on
yeah,
Merrick
yeah.
Road.
Yeah.
Have you drove past there lately?
No.
It's like have you been there at all ever?
Yeah, but there were always giant lines at that place anyway.
Okay, so picture that, and now they don't let you. Like there's a big ass social distancing line in the when you're standing in front of it, the left side parking lot.
Right.
The parking already was a fucking nightmare over there when you went there. Now they got rid of the left side parking lot
Right.
and they made these squiggly, like, at the bank with the rope that
Right.
you got to go
Right.
in like an accordion. And then
Right.
there's a little dude sitting at a table and you give him your order and then you got to go wait outside on the other side of the restaurant in the front
Right.
and social distance. They only let a certain amount of people because they keep 6 feet in between. So you got this giant line
Mhm.
of social distance people, then a regular line of people standing on top of each other waiting to get on the giant line of social distancing.
Now
Pointless.
here's my question. Here's my question, and I posed this question to another coworker of ours. Are the hamburgers that good, or is it because they're that cheap?
It's not the price. I mean, the price is
I
way better.
I think it's the price, my man, because
It's
the hamburgers are not that good to subject yourself to that much.
Well, it's not only the hamburgers. When I go there, I get a quarter pounder with cheese,
Right.
onion rings,
Uh huh.
a shake,
Right.
some fries,
Right.
and then it's just a whole. Would I do that? Like if when I was there, it was like it was approaching closing time. It was getting light. Like what I'm saying. It wasn't crazy, but the potential for like if it would have been like peak hours, it would have been fucking crazy. But I wouldn't stand on that fucking line for 3 hours. Hell no. I was in and out of 10 minutes.
Listen, you know how many times? Do you know how many times we attempted to get All American and it ended up as a Taco Joe's night?
Yeah. No, I mean, I
And
get you.
that's when things were normal. So I wouldn't even attempt to do that right now. I'd stay
Yeah,
away from that place, you know?
you could never All American. Could never attempt at it like, oh, it's dinner time. You'd be out of your fucking mind.
Right. Absolutely. That you have to have a well-laid plan to go to that place.
You have to. I mean, you live close enough. If you drive past, you're like, ooh, no line. Zoop, get in there.
Right,
Fucking,
right, right,
that'd be. And even the lines, like the line, always kind of moved quickish.
right.
It was never crazy. Like it's fast food. You're in and out. They have a limited menu. But yes, I do. I love All American. I think and I don't. This is like I don't eat All American. Like I'm expecting to get a burger that I would get like at some fancy burger spot either. It is what it is, and you're right with the price. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
let me explain something to you.
Go ahead.
I've learned through of my fear of being around people has made me appreciate the things that I could do for myself. case in point, I have both uh I have both 7-Eleven and Dunkin' Donuts apps that I used to like just drink coffee relentlessly all day, every day, blah blah blah. I during this whole COVID thing, I invested in a coffee, one of those hot travel mugs,
Yeah.
and I've been making my own coffee the way I like it, the blend that I like, and I've been making my own. Uh, as far as like the burgers and everything else like that, once it was warm enough to open up the grill's been open. You know what I mean? I want some burgers. I go out there, the cheese I want, the buns the way I want, everything. And I've learned to make do with that situation. And it's gotten me to the point where I'm not like a slave to these lines like people are. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. No, 100%, bro. I mean, I wouldn't. I could make a burger better than All American makes in my
Oh,
house. Like, but it's just the whole thing, the fries, the fucking onion rings, the
no, I
shake. It's
get it.
like,
I get it.
you know.
I get
But
it. Oh,
you're right.
and
No, I ain't standing on them lines either. Fuck that.
yeah, listen, man. And to be honest with you, I understand that even going to these establishments kind of even makes people feel like a sense of normalcy because like the big thing now, like we were talking about before, uh when we were talking about Rocco, when we were saying that the drive-in situation, they're about to start like with the drive-ins and everything else like that. Like people are just so ready to get out of the house and do something. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, bro.
ridiculous.
I swear ever since it sort of like got nicer out,
Right.
it don't even feel like quarantine no more to me because I'm just sitting out in the yard. I got the grill going. I'm just chilling. The kids got the fucking slip and slide. They're playing out there. It's like
Right.
I'm not looking at the fucking news. I stopped for a long time really looking at the current news stories and shit. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Right.
I just don't want to fucking hear it. When I go out into the world, it seems like most people are on the same fucking page, though. You still got masks, people wearing masks everywhere to go in the stores, and that's cool, whatever. But like people in general, like it feels like it's loosening up. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because of them be talking about the second wave or some shit. Like
Well, the other thing also that is crazy about the situation is that everything that we've known is out the window because even people have no real interest in going back to the way things were because of the fear of this whole thing.
like
So
what? What wouldn't you want to do no more?
what I'm saying is even if they told you right now that they had Knicks tickets on sale for $10 a seat, would you be raring to go?
Nah, but I never gave a fuck about the Knicks. I
What I what
honestly
I'm
like.
what I'm saying is
Would I
even if
want to
you didn't,
go?
would you want to go even if you got the tickets for like a mere bag of shells?
I don't have any shells. But I no, I but see this is the thing though. Also like and this was a real eye-opening thing for me. It was like whenever I went anywhere, I'd be like I can't wait to go home. I'm like there and I'm like all right, next I'm going to go home. Like
Right,
and when I'm home, sometimes I'm like, I want to get the fuck out of here. But that gets cured with a little ride in the car. I would like to be able to see people more, like my friends. I like to go, like if we could go drink some beers and eat some wings. I love that.
right, right,
Like that's the kind of shit I want to do. I have any desire to be in a place with 10,000 people? No. And
right.
and that and I'd say 5% of that is because of the coronavirus, and 95% is because I just don't like it. I just don't fucking want to be around people like that.
When did you realize that you had this dislike for people?
It's not so much to people like anytime like I would
No,
love to
I'm
go to
not.
the
I'm not talking about personally. You don't like the person. I'm talking about because I explain when you realize that, and then
well
I'll tell you
this
where I'm
is
coming
where like
from.
all right Danielle every birthday whatever she used to buy me tickets for whatever holiday or some whatever reason if she was gonna buy me a gift we go to the Giants game or something
Right,
and it's great it's cool but all right so you got how many people in the Giant Stadium? 30, 40, 50, whatever, many thousands of people heading out the door at once. You got to wait on a line to go down the stairs. You got to wait on a line to take a piss. You got to buy a $10 hot dog. You got to buy a $15 beer. You got to wait 2 hours before you can get out of the parking lot and drive 2 hours home. It's like, I'm good. I got a fucking 60-inch beautiful flat screen on my wall, and I have all the beer. I could take a shit when I want to. I could piss. I could get my dick sucked and watch this fucking game if I wanted to, too.
Mm.
I can't do that there.
And
I can't, like,
you know,
I don't know. It's not for me.
you described my whole my whole experience. The last time, no, not the last time, the second to the last time that I was in MetLife, uh, I got 2 hot dogs and 2 beers, 2 Heinekens and 2 footlongs, right?
$37.50, please, sir.
No, $41, my man.
Shit, that's what I'm saying.
11,
It's crazy.
yo, and it was so crazy. No, $42. 40, I'm bugging out. $42. $11 a piece for the beers and $10 a piece for the hot dogs. So $42. And here's my point. My point being, it's always like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the house for when it happens. In the house, in the house. So what? At the end of the day, when you had to fight for parking, fight the, like you said, fight the piss, fight to go get something to eat. You're in the seat. The sloppy drunk guy behind you was talking crazy, and you just like, yo, man, I don't even want to be here. I just want to be on my couch watching my big
Word.
beautiful TV. You know what I mean?
100%. There's every time I go anywhere for any extended period of time with a bunch of people there, I'm like, can I go home now? I want to go home.
Yeah, I concur. I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
This would be a perfect time to play my song. I don't want to leave the crib. I don't remember what it's called. I ain't trying to leave the crib. I don't know. You've heard it before.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're at an hour or so ish on this episode 16 of the Prime podcast. I just want to I want to apologize to everybody for the shit show that this podcast has been for the last few episodes, and for me not uploading as many clips. And we're gonna get back into the swing of things. What I've learned? I've learned over the past few weeks that I don't ever want to have guests on the podcast ever again,
Right.
unless they're in studio.
Right.
And it's nothing against our guests. It's just the technical. We just went through an hour of trying to technically figure out what the fuck is happening with the mics and with the fucking the recording software, with the internet, it's like, what the fuck? If we were all in this room, it'd be like, you guys ready? Let's go. Like
Right.
that'd be an easy thing, but this technology is throwing me for a whole fucking loop. And I just want to do something dope, and I want to put it out. I don't want to, I don't want to go crazy.
You know how I feel about technology?
That's yeah, bullshit. This motherfucker, he loves the technology with his buttons over there, hitting buttons. All right, man, we out this motherfucker. So tell him peace, Fats. Tell him peace.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Prime Podcast. Check out. Be on the lookout for episode 17. Peace.
Peace out. I had to let the applause play. There you go. 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 Applause play. There you go.